All right. How did that feel, Kathy Engelbert? Kathy Engelbert, WNBA commissioner, finally comes out. Finally, somebody gives Caitlin Clark the credit where it's due. We've had all these NECA Agumakays and people from the WNBPA refusing to give Caitlin Clark any credit, refusing to acknowledge her and say her name at all. And the WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, for the first time, comes out and gives the GOAT, Caitlin Clark, the credit that she is due. Kathy, how did it?
Was finally broken, and in a way that shook the entire basketball world to its core. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert sat there and did the one thing she had avoided for months. She gave Caitlin Clark the credit she earned. For a long time, the league office and the veteran players tried to act like this was a collective effort, but the masks have finally slipped. Stephanie White has been watching this circus from the sidelines, and her reaction to this sudden admission says everything about the internal war happening behind the scenes. The era of ignoring the GOAT is officially over, and the fallout is going to be absolutely massive for the old guard who refused to say her name.
For the first time, comes out and gives the GOAT, Caitlin Clark, the credit that she is due. Kathy, how did it taste? Probably like vinegar to you, but it doesn't matter because it needed to happen. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video. We got to get into this. Kathy finally said it. Caitlin Clark, the tide that moves all boats, not the icing, the whole cake, not a needle mover, the actual needle, the face. Caitlin Clark is responsible for this.
Probably tasted like pure vinegar to the commissioner, but she had no choice left but to face the reality of the numbers. For months, we watched as people like Nneka Ogwumike and other veterans refused to acknowledge the impact of the #1 pick. They tried to act like the sold-out arenas and record-breaking television ratings were just a natural progression of the league's history. But now, the head of the snake has spoken. Engelbert admitted that Caitlin Clark is the type of star that moves all boats. She isn't just the icing on the cake. She is the entire cake. She isn't just a needle mover. She is the actual needle that determines whether this league lives or dies in the eyes of the public.
Cake, not a needle mover, the actual needle, the face. Caitlin Clark is responsible for this growth in this league. Pat McAfee and the boys put some pressure on her. Yeah, we hear you talking and talking. We let you ramble for 10 minutes. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark. How has she transformed this league, bringing all of this attention from what she garnered at Iowa to the WNBA? Let's talk about it. Kathy Engelbert finally faced reality. Let's take a listen to this.
Yeah, Commish, so obviously everyone's excited that this...
White has been a witness to the intense pressure and the often vicious jealousy that has surrounded Caitlin since she stepped onto the professional hardwood. While the media tried to play nice, the reality on the court was something much different. We saw the league struggle to adapt with unqualified referees letting games turn into something closer to rugby or even prison ball than actual basketball. It felt like a coordinated effort to humble the rookie, but instead it only highlighted how much the league needed her. White's perspective on this shift is crucial because she understands that the old guard is fighting a losing battle against a future they can no longer control or suppress, or the numbers that...
It's okay, bro. You don't see, that's the thing. You don't have to lie. You don't have to say, obviously, it wasn't just her. No. It was her. It was just her. Let's be real here. None of these, it's some other good players in the W. They do not move the needle. They do not drive ratings. They do not drive the ticket sales like Caitlin Clark. Listen, everybody's getting paid more money now. We don't have to lie and pacify people. It was because of her.
It was, kind of appointment television for a while there. So how confident is the league that you guys will be able to continue to kind of get these not only college
are absolutely staggering and impossible to ignore any longer. We watched the league's ratings tank by more than 50% the moment Caitlin Clark was sidelined with an injury. That is not the sign of a healthy, balanced league. That is the sign of a league being carried by a single generational talent. Every time she wasn't on the court, yes, the empty seats in the arenas told a story that the PR department simply couldn't spin. When the commissioner says the league caught lightning in a bottle, she is finally admitting that without that spark, the WNBA NBA was sitting in the dark, waiting for a savior they didn't even want to thank.
Did a poor job in the very beginning, not having the league prepared for Caitlin Clark, not having qualified referees, letting it be prison ball, rugby, football out there. You did a poor job, but it seems like you're coming to your senses, even if you don't like the way it tastes. You are starting to come to your senses that Caitlin Clark has shifted this league in an entirely different direction. The viewership, the fandom, people actually are taking y'all serious now somewhat. Like, Caitlin Clark has changed this whole thing around, and I believe it's time.
One of the most telling moments of this sudden confession was the mention of how the league is now moving games to massive NBA arenas just to accommodate the crowd. We aren't seeing this happen for every team or every star. It is a specific phenomenon tied to one person. Why aren't the arenas sold out when the old guard is playing? It's a simple question, with a very uncomfortable answer for the veterans. The fans are voting with their wallets and their remote controls. They aren't coming to see players who spent years playing a slower, less exciting style of ball. They're coming to see the revolution that Caitlin Clark started back at Iowa and brought to the professional level.
And bring in the young talent, and she's going to address that as well.
A lot more stars. I mean, this year our draft is actually like 12 days away, and we have AZ Fudd from UConn.
Oh, yeah.
We have Olivia Miles from TCU, Flaugier from LSU, Lauren Betts from UCLA, who's in the Final Four. We actually have 2 players from outside the U.S., and so we're becoming a more global player population as well, just like the NBA has done over the years, and we're catching up. I think when I came in the league, we were 8% players born outside the United States, and last year we were 23% or something like that. So we're growing our global game too. So, and we need to invest there.
Commissioner highlighted that the league is moving toward a 52-game schedule, a massive jump from the 32 games they played when she first arrived. This expansion isn't happening because of the collective effort of the past 20 years. It's happening because broadcast partners saw the future. They saw the viewership numbers and realized that games of consequence are only possible when you have household names people actually care about. Caitlin has become a global ambassador, even doing work with the NBA on NBC. She has transcended the small bubble of women's basketball and entered the stratosphere of mainstream sports icons, leaving her detractors in the dust.
League, and Caitlin Clark is the face and the leader of it all. She's the face of this entire sport. Point blank, period. These young girls that are coming up, they want to play like Caitlin. They don't want to play like Skylar Diggins and all these older, like, respectfully, they don't want to play like them. They want to play like Cece. They want to, like, that is what they want to do. They want to have exciting basketball. You got Michaela Blake's coming, Juju, Hannah Hidalgo, Olivia Miles coming this year. You have Flaugier. You have a bunch of talent coming in. Malaysia Fu Wiley, like, the game is about to get faster.
There's a sense of desperation coming from veteran players right now, and Stephanie White has likely seen this coming for a long time. These old hags, as some critics call them, are trying to grab every nickel and dime they can on their way out the door. They know their time is up. They spent years playing in front of half-empty gyms, and now they want to reap the financial rewards of a boom they didn't create. The jealousy is palpable because they realize that a 22-year-old rookie did more for the league's bottom line in 6 months than they did in their entire careers. It's a bitter pill to swallow, and the tension is reaching a boiling point.